Dreams do come true, kids. Yo, what's good? So, Endorphins sent over a bunch of the 60 modules for me to check out, but one in particular I really had my eyes on because it was essentially a dream come true when it came to Eurorack and modules, and that's the Milky Way. So, let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, the reason I say this is a dream come true is because I haven't been able to find a good multi-effects module that isn't too big. And sure, there's things like the disting, which is everything in the kitchen sink, but that's also one of the reasons it kind of put me off was because it did too many things and was kind of menu divey. And another one that was pretty good was the RT60 by Qubit, but that's now discontinued, and personally, I think it could have sounded a bit better. So since those two, there hasn't really been a good multi-effects module, and now there is, the Milky Way. And speaking of divey, this module isn't too bad. It takes a second to get used to, but essentially you need to know three things. You press type to go through your effects, you press type and tap to go to bank 2, see it's blue and red, and then you hold tap for a second to activate the secondary function. And that's really it. Pretty simple. For my 5 favorite effects, because I love doing these types of videos, maybe it's because I like torturing myself and trying to choose less than I actually like, it goes like this. Number 1, gated reverb. Let me turn on the clock. It gives this super cool plucky effect, especially with bass lines, and its secondary function, press and hold tap, changes the threshold of the noise gate. See, there's nothing, so it has to be pretty loud. There it is. So then go back to the first function. Yeah. Oh, and for my voice, I'm using the Entity Percussion. It's just this awesome all analog dope percussion module by SSF. And to the next. Number 2, the flanger. So let me go ahead and give ourselves a new pattern. Flip our clock on. Cool. That's this one here. This one's kind of cool because this cabin pressure knob, which is normally your dry wet, is going to be changing your delay time. Gets pretty wide. Cabin fever is your LFO amount for your modulation. But your secondary function is your feedback amount. So press and hold. Yeah. LFO speed. Ooh. Man, if only you could see my face right now. Oh, good flanger is always a good flanger. On to the next. Number 3, the freezer and looper mode. This takes a step away from the usual way you use this module. So here, let me run this. I have a pretty simple pattern. The cabin fever knob is going to select the grain size. You can bigger grain. And when you press tap, you're kind of grabbing a moment in time. But what's dope is near the center, you can grab a smaller grain. And once you grab a grain, if you turn this to the left past 12 o'clock that way, it plays it in reverse. And all the while this, your cabin pressure knob is your speed. Fast, 12 o'clock is basically a rate of 0, and then this is going to be slowing it down. So check this out. I'm going to speed up the tempo a little bit. And this is what I was doing earlier, which was really fun. I'll take this here, and I'll send CV to the cabin fever knob, and this will just turn on, basically grabbing a grain. So let's go to here. It starts getting kind of gallopy. Can I send one of these to it? Dude, who does not love the mimetic? Oh man, this thing is dope. Let's try this. Let's take two and just shred it. Do some weird reverse stuff. Fast. Shred it. Yes. This I've been spending so much time on. Ah. Whoa, where are we at? Yes. Oh man, I am recording this. I need this loop. Yep. Ooh. Save this. Let's see if we can get this wilder. Shred. Save that there. Shred it again. Nope. Shred. Nope. Shred. Yep. Save that there. Go back to the original. Dude. Oh man, I don't even want to finish making the rest of the video. This patch is so dope. I'm gonna just let this play it for a second. Where are we? Dope. All right, number 4, the peak compressor. I like this one a lot. It's just a good way to kind of run some drums through there or some really wide dynamic range sounds. You can get a lot of control and just like squash. In here, this is going to be your threshold, the cabin pressure. Cabin fever, though, is your gain reduction. Right, so now we're reducing a lot. Your release is always going to be set to automatic. I mean, I'm running it really hard right now. And in the compressor, if you press and hold, your secondary function is going to be your attack time. You can hear it basically gets rid of all the transients. It's really, really fast. Find a nice sweet spot. Oh, I need to patch that. I'm sorry. I know I'm wasting your time, but this just sounds so sick. Oh, man. Dude, real quick, how good does this sound? You can soften it up a little. Just really drive it. Yep. Oh, I love this filter. Got the high pass on here. Ooh, there's a new sound in there. And on to the next. Yeah! Damn, we're 4 down and we're not even on to the next bank, which is the red bank, right? So you got blue and red. And red is the Airways bank. You get 16 effects on this thing, and it's hard to choose just 5 that I like. I mean, does all the reverbs count as one effect? Because they all sound really good. And this last one that I really like is the chorus. The chorus sounds really, really good. And this one's really simple. We launched this. This is basically the chorus feedback amount. We'll go into infinite. You hear it's kind of moving. That's your secondary function. Press and hold this. How much movement? None. A little bit. We'll go back to our primary function. This nice texture. Another small thing I really like about this Endorphins module is that the knobs work in pickup. So check this out. If I'm in full here, and I go here, nothing's happening until I hit where it was originally at, and then it starts changing. It doesn't give you those hard jumps. So performing with this is kind of good to have. And we're done. Man, it's just so hard to choose 5 effects. And I know I said all the reverbs because they all sound really good. But yeah, that's kind of some of my most used inside the Milky Way, especially that looper one, which I'm about to hop back in on in a second. And I've always underestimated the power of effects until I messed with an REVERB. And I was like, oh, that's why this thing is so damn big, because it sounds so damn good. And since then, I've always wanted effects, but not at the sacrifice of half the size of my case. So, hunting around, looking for things. I'm happy that I came across the Milky Way, and I'm really happy that Endorphins sent it to me. Thank you again. Because it's small, has a ton of effects. They're all really usable. They're all really dope. Easy to use. It's got that cool VCA. And even the meta stuff that I didn't get into, which is like scanning between all the effects in some weird, wild way. But anyway, yeah, Milky Way, super dope. And if you want to see more videos on the other 6U modules, let me know down in the comments below. I got them all now. They're all really good. I want to check out the Godspeed for sure. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. You already know the drill. Share the love, share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace. I'm gonna keep jamming. All right, let's get back to that freezer looper. That thing was super tight. Where we at here? Send this there. Whoa, immediately. Oh. Yeah. Get that horse gallop. What's that on 3? Catch it. There it is. Peace.